Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today in this video we will discuss the different methods of wiring which are used for the Mitsubishi PLCs. There are two kinds of wiring methods. One is this one. First of all, you need to understand what are these things. This is input side of the PLC. L is the line voltage, which is 220 volt. N is the neutral. 220 volt switch, when turned on, this voltage goes to the PLC input rail. And the second thing is ground. When we are working in the heavy power, then we need to ground our PLCs so that any short circuiting can't damage to the human life. This is sink source terminal. This is known as the sinking or sourcing terminal. Before proceeding further in this video, please subscribe my channel so that you can get a notification for every new video. In one type of programming, we provide 0 voltage to sink source terminal, and the other type of programming, we provide 24 volt to the sink source terminal. This is the major difference between the two methods of programming. So in this programming method, we have connected 24 volt terminal. Here on the output side, you can see that this is output side. This is 24 volt terminal. We have wired it and connected it to this is 0 volt terminal COM. I have wired it from here to 0 volt terminal. This is sink source. After that, other inputs are available, X0, X1, X2 up to X7. We connect every input through a switch or a push button or a sensor or whichever input you are using, you need to connect here. I'm selecting my switches, X0 switch, X1, X2 up to X7. These are my 8 switches, as this PLC can handle only 8 inputs. You need to take 24 volt from this terminal and wire all the inputs this way. It means that 24 volt will be provided to every input on the input side of the PLC. When this switch is turned on, this 24 volt goes to the input of the PLC. In X1, X2, X3, whichever input you want to turn on, this 24 volt will be available for this to turn this input on. The output side, this is 24 volt terminal which is available on the PLC output side. It may be on the input side or on the output side, and this is COM port. In some PLCs, Mitsubishi PLCs, it is shown with 0 volt, and in some PLCs it is shown with COM. When it is written as COM, consider it as the 0 volt terminal. So this is 0 volt terminal, this is 24 volt terminal. I have explained the inner side, input side of the PLC. Now this is the output side of PLC. COM is 0 volt, 24 volt is the 24 volt DC. COM 0, we now connect in this way that we provide 24 volt from this terminal and connect it to the COM 0, to the COM 1, COM 2, COM 3 up to COM 7. And every output Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3 is connected through an LED. I have connected it through an LED. Whichever output you want to connect, you can connect here relay, you can connect here your motor, everything whichever you want to connect. But for safety purpose, you need to connect relays on the output side so that you can connect everything with your relays. So this 24 volt is provided to every COM terminal, COM 0, COM 1, COM 2 up to COM 7, and this 0 voltage is applied to the Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3 up to Y7. When any input turns on, X0 is turned on, it energizes. If it is connected to Y0, it energizes Y0, and the 24 volt from COM port goes through Y0 to the LED, to the output. This way output is turned on. When this X0 is connected to Y3, then when X0 is turned on, this 24 volt which is connected with COM 3, it flows through Y3 and it turns the output on. In this way, when X4 is connected to Y1, when X4 is turned on, this 24 volt flows through Y1 and it turns the output on, whichever output is connected with it. This is one type of PLC programming. Other type is just opposite to that. How we discuss the second method of Mitsubishi PLC programming. Second method is the same way, but its connections are little bit different. You can see that the previous method I have connected 0.04 volt to the sink source terminal, but in this connection I have connected 24 volt to sink source terminal, and conversely I have connected 0 volt. You can see that this is 0 volt terminal, this is COM 0, this is 0 volt terminal. I have connected this 0 volt terminal to all the inputs. So when an input is energized, the switch is turned on, it can connect the input to the output. Output side, 24 volt is connected to the COM 0, COM 1, COM 2, COM 3, COM 4 up to COM 7, and 0 volt is connected to this is 0 volt, this is 0 volt. This I have taken connection from here. This is connected to Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4 up to Y7. So this is the major difference, that we have connected sync source to the 24 volt. In the previous method we have connected 0 volt to the sync source terminal. And other major difference is that on the input side we applied 24 volt in the previous method. In this method we have applied 0 volt to the inputs. This way, when we turn an input on, this X0 when turns on, and if it is connected to Y3, then this Y3 will be turned on, and 24 volt from this COM terminal flows through this Y3 and it turns the output or LED on. I have connected LEDs. You can connect everything to your PLC output, but it is for safety purpose you need to connect your relays to the output so that you can connect everything with your relays, because 24 volt is available on every terminal of the output. Y3, Y4, Y1, Y5, Y7, every terminal produces 24 volt DC voltage, which can turn on a relay, and a relay can work as a switch to connect, to turn on a motor, to turn on a bulb, to turn on an AC fan. Everything will be connected with its output. So in this way you can differentiate between the programming. Only the input side programming is changed. Output side programming is same as in the previous method, as in the previous case. Output is the same, but input side is changed. Sync source is connected to 24 volt and input sides are connected to 0 volt. In the previous programming method, 0 volt is connected to sync source and 24 volt to the input side. But in this method, you can see that 24 volt is connected to the sync source and 0 volt is connected to the input side. I hope that you may have learned new thing for your Mitsubishi PLCs. Thank you so much for watching.